All right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Nowhere to Run, 1993. Welcome to the secession from Great Britain Day, Independence Day. Okay, this is going to be another Karate Man recommendation. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was pretty decent. It's kind of a soap opera, not really an action movie, but Jean-Claude Van Damme does kick some arse in this. Nowhere to Run is 1993 U.S. action film directed by Robert Harmon. The film stars Jean-Claude Van Damme mumbling his lines from the Lee Major School of Acting, Rosanna Arquette, who gets naked not once but twice, and she does a very quick spin around while she's buck naked. So you don't exactly see her front side unless you're Adrian's VHS machine and he's hitting the pause button. But you do see a lot of TNA from Rosanna Arquette. What a pleasant surprise. I used to have a crush on her too. When she did what movie was she in with Madonna? I can't even remember. Desperately Seeking Susan from 1985. Oh man, I had a big time crush on her. She was just perfect. She was what the ideal high school girl looked like back in the mid to late 80s. You got the Home Alone kid, Kieran Kyle Culkin, Ted Levine, and Josh Ackland, who plays the greedy white male swine of a capitalist pig. So Van Damme is an escape convict, but he somehow redeems himself by banging Rosanna Arquette, a single mom, becoming friends with the two kids, and chasing out the greedy white male swine of a capitalist pig redeveloper who uses any means necessary to obtain private property. Nowhere to Run was released in the U.S. on January 15, 1993 by Columbia Pictures. The film was the second collaboration between Van Damme and producer Craig Baumgarten after Universal Soldier in 1992, which is better than this movie. This is when Jean-Claude Van Damme started going downhill a little bit. A prison bus flips on the road when it's cut off by a car driven by Billy, who frees prisoners and partner in crime, Sam Gillen. They escape in the car, but Billy is fatally shot by a guard. Sam buys some food from a roadside store. Sam camps near a pond. He finds the money from their latest heist in the car trunk, and he listens to a tape recording left by Billy before pushing the car into the pond. Poor Billy, he didn't get any money, and he ended up dying trying to rescue Jean-Claude Van Damme. That night, Sam sneaks up to a nearby house and he sees a woman and her two children inside. And he sees Rosanna Arquette showing off her amazing body. Some great TNA action happening in the window. She had the window open while she was getting ready to take a bath that night. Sam sneaks up to a nearby house and he sees a woman and her two children. Yeah, I already said that. Okay. So that was the highlight of the movie right there. Rosanna Arquette stripping naked for her bath. He breaks in, but he is nearly discovered by one of the children. He steals a salt shaker and he leaves. He needs salt for his steak that he's cooking on his grill. The next night, he breaks in to return it. The boy named Mike, nicknamed Mookie, finds Sam's campsite. So instead of Home Alone, where the kid is like beating up on the intruders, he's actually welcoming the guy because his dad died and he doesn't have a father. Nearby demolition from real estate development disturbs Clyde Anderson, the owner of the home. Corrupt developer Franklin Hale seeks to drive her off the land with the help of his lackey, Mr. Dunson, and the local sheriff, Lonnie Poole, who is dating her. Not for long. You gets no nookie from Rosanna Arquette because Jean-Claude Van Damme is too much of a man. One night, goons attack Clyde and her children, but Sam arrives and Sam fights them off. Not too many fight scenes in this one. It's a lot of drama and soap opera stuff. Really turned me off initially, but I do like the nudity and the plot twist. And Jean-Claude Van Damme, as usual, is mumbling his lines. I couldn't even hear one of his one-liner deals because he just mumbles throughout the movie, and you have to really pay close attention to what he's saying. Even when he messes up his lines, they just they just go with it, and they say that he has a speech impediment or something. In this one, I guess they gave up on the retakes anyway. Sam claims that he is camping and hunting on her land. He keeps making up these stupid stories. And Clyde insinuates that he is not welcome. But later, Clyde offers him shelter in her barn out of gratitude. You better stay away from that single mom, dude. Sam also purchases her dead husband's old Triumph Bonneville motorcycle, and he repairs it with Mookie's help. Oh, he's trying to be a good stepdad. Future stepdad, I mean. Later, Sam thwarts an attempt by Hale to ruin Clyde's farmland by coating it with oil. A town council meeting gets heated when another resident, Tom, refuses to sell his land to Hale. Yeah, stand up for your property rights. That night, his goons burn down Tom's barn. Mookie, who discovers the fire, awakens Sam. Sam saves Tom. Sam puts out the fire with their water tower before their fuel tanks can ignite, further angering Hale. So the propane tanks are about to explode, but Jean-Claude Van Damme is there. Not to worry. Noticing that Clyde is taking a liking to Sam, Lonnie beats him, and Lonnie demands he leave. Got some serious police corruption in this one. While tending his wounds, Clyde and Sam have sex all night long, but you only get to see like 3 minutes of it. Lonnie, we do get to see Rosanna Arquette's amazing breasts, though. She's got some nice knockers. Lonnie continues to grow suspicious of Sam and Clyde's relationship. He finds out Sam is a fugitive. He informs Clyde. Sam tells her that he and Billy robbed a bank, but Billy killed a guard defending him. He got caught while his friend escaped. Clyde tells him to leave, so Sam returns to his campsite. Hale enlists the sheriff's department to hunt him down, so he leads them on a motorcycle chase and ultimately escapes and returns to Clyde. And this is where the last 10 minutes of the film are greedy white male swine of a capitalist pig versus the immortal Jean-Claude Van Damme. Running out of time and growing desperate, Hale and Dunstan go to Clyde's house with guns and they force her to sign over the land. But the contract is no good because Sam arrives just in time to stop them from burning down the house, and he kills Dunstan with a revolver. CHP officers arrive and they arrest Hale, who's holding Clyde at gunpoint. Greedy white male swine of a capitalist pig finally gets his just desserts. Even though Jean-Claude Van Damme is in the same boat, Sam allows Lonnie to arrest him, having decided to stop running. And that's pretty much the movie. Production company Columbia Pictures, distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. Release dates January 14, 1993 in Singapore and January 15, 1993 in the U.S. Running time 94 minutes. Country United States language English. Budget of $15 million. And a box office of a whopping $64 million. I think it's safe to say this one was a financial success. Although Rosanna Arquette is the only reason to watch this. Producer Craig Baumgarten conceived this story a decade before its production from a concept by director Richard Markham, who later collaborated with Joe Ezerterhaas on the script. However, following Markham's unexpected death, the script remained shelved for years. When seeking a project for Jean-Claude Van Damme, Baumgarten recalled the script. Baumgarten deemed it a suitable fit. Van Damme reportedly received $3.5 million for the role, of which he spent all of it on cocaine. On June 30th, 1992, Daily Variety announced the $15 million film under its initial title, Pals, as part of a 3-picture agreement between Columbia Pictures and Van Damme. The tentative location was Santa Barbara, California, with an anticipated start date of April 1st, 1992, aiming to precede the expiration of Screen Actors Guild and American Federation of Television and Radio Artists contracts on June 30th. The Hollywood Reporter, however, using the alternate title Crossing the Line, indicated a May 1992 start date. Principal photography began on June 8, 1992, in Napa Valley, California. Filming extended to Occidental California, which is a great place to eat unlimited amounts of Italian food. Filming extended to Occidental California for nearly a month, and it concluded in Los Angeles, specifically at Sony Pictures Studios in Culver City. Esterhaus has since said his original script was taken and destroyed many years later by Jean-Claude Van Damme. It lost its sensitivity and lost everything. I don't like to remember that movie. Van Damme later said the script was not that good. The writer told me he was going to fix everything. I was in his house. He shook my hand. He promised me, and he didn't fix it. Nowhere to Run opened January 15, 1993, in 1,745 theaters. In its opening weekend, the film made $8,203,255 at number 4, behind Aladdin's 10th weekend, A Few Good Men's 6th, and Alive's first weekend. The film grossed $22,189,039 in the US and Canada. The film performed better internationally, grossing $41.9 million in other territories for a worldwide gross of a whopping $64 million. The film received mostly negative reviews from critics. On Rotten Tomatoes, 36% of 25 critics gave the film a positive review, with an average rating of 4.2 out of 10. So I'm being generous because we like Jean-Claude Van Damme movies on this channel, even though Karate Man recommendations are questionable at times with Steven Seagal nonsense. On Metacritic, it has a score of 41% based on 16 reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of a B+ on an A+ to F scale. Despite that, the film has a cult following, with most fans declaring it as one of Van Damme's better films. I would agree with that. It might be in the top 5. Possibly. I'm still working my way through Van Damme films, keep in mind, so I might change that to top 10 if I can find some more decent ones that Karate Man is in love with. Nowhere to Run, 1993, rated R, 1 hour 34 minutes. It gets a mediocre 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb, 27,000 ratings. Sam, an escaped convict, lands up on farmland owned by a widow, the very comely Rosanna Arquette, looking hotter than hell. When when he learns that a ruthless contractor is trying to take over the land, he helps her fight against the injustice. Contractor, would that be redeveloper? Maybe is a better term than contractor. All right. More like this. Death Warrant, which is a better movie. Double Impact, Sudden Death, and Hard Target. Rosanna Arquette disliked working with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and she stated in many interviews that she only took the role because good parts were few and far between. That's unfortunate. She's a great actress, especially when she takes off her bra and her panties. When buying spares for the Triumph Bonneville, he buys brake fluid, which you would need on a machine with cable-operated drum brakes. Sam Gillen is quoted as saying, "Au revoir, effer," after shooting the bad guy. Maybe that's the one-liner that I couldn't understand because of Jean-Claude Van's never-ending mumbling in this one. Featured in Siskel and Ebert, Memo to the Academy, 1993. Soundtracks, When My Ship Comes In, written by Clint Black and Hayden Nicholas, performed by Clint Black, courtesy of the RCA Records label of BMG Music. Release date January 15th, 1993. In the U.S., country of origin United States, language English, also known as Gunnar or Morir. Filming locations Occidental California, USA, farmhouse pond scenes, which is a great place to eat large amounts of Italian food. Production companies Columbia Pictures, Adelson Baumgarten Productions. Box office $15 million estimated. Opening weekend, US and Canada, $8,203,255 on January 18th, 1993. The gross US and Canada is $22,189,039. And the gross worldwide is incorrectly the same because I know because it played in Singapore. Runtime 1 hour 34 minutes. This is in color, sound mix Dolby Stereo, aspect ratio 1.85 to 1. And here's a review from Glenn Major on IMDb. The title of the IMDb review is Great Movie. Glenn Major gives it a 7 out of 10. I'm giving it 10. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. So this is a less flattering review. Glenn Major says, "This is a very engaging thriller, and I'm a big fan of the muscles from Brussels. All to like." That's from Glenn Major, July 16th, 2020. So this is one of the better Jean-Claude Van Damme films. There are so many good ones. I would say this is in the top 5. I won't say highly recommended and check it out. But if you do end up buying it for $3.59 on Amazon Prime, be sure to fast forward to the nude scenes. Rosanna Arquette, nude scenes are highly recommended. Too bad she didn't take it off more frequently or longer or both. All right. So I still got a handful of movies to watch under the moniker of the film series Footprints of God with Stephen Ray. That's 2003. I don't know why I put 2014. That was done in 2003. All right, I fixed that on my list. I watch one film from that film series in between each movie, so that way I won't be holding up my other movie reviews like I did when I was watching Renegade back in the day. Miami Vice was a little different because I think I mixed up the DVDs somehow. Anyways, first movie on my list is Martial Law 2 Undercover, 1992. I'll watch Footprints again. And then watch The Enforcer, 1976. That's the number 2 movie on my list. And the number 3 is the aforementioned Hard Target, 1993. So I'm going to get to 2 Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, possibly 3. It's going to be a long weekend. I just have to meet my lawyer tomorrow. He's going to convince me to agree to the mediator's settlement recommendation. But he'll probably make it advantageous to me. For instance, I won't get the balance of the $325,000, or is it no $375,000 settlement until after they sell the house here, and they're never going to sell this house because they constantly overprice the value of this house when they're selling it. You can smell the mold from upstairs. They can't sell it without mold remediation. And the Department of Building Inspection is going to start fining them for the previous owner's inability to obtain a permit for building this unsafe in-law unit in the back of their garage. And there's also they need 2 permits, I believe. One for this area here, and another one for the bathroom. So there's some crazy communist like government control of private property happening. And ironically, it's helping me, a private property advocate, much to the chagrin of the people who do not value private property rights. The owners of this house, the current owners, which is like a dysfunctional family, they can't agree on anything. So it'll be interesting to see what my lawyer says tomorrow. I'm sure he'll convince me to agree to his mediator. And the funny thing is that he's going to start working for that same mediator. He's going to quit his law practice and work for her. All right. So that should be interesting tomorrow. It shouldn't hold up too much of my YouTube movie review activity this weekend. I do have to go to Safeway to get my Safeway sandwiches for me and my son on Sunday. And I have to get spare parts for this stupid CPAP machine, which I do not like. It's very uncomfortable, and it keeps falling off my face because I like to move around in bed. And I got this Cthulhu mask on my face. Anyways. Well, nobody's in the chat room. Nobody expects me to post a video this early on a Friday. But it is a paid federal holiday for some stupid reason. Oh, yeah. Secession from Great Britain. Laters.